you and I have known each other for about 50 years now.
Yes.
Would you like to tell folks how we met?
Well, I think I've probably known you actually a little longer than you've known me. Because, well, you were growing inside your mama when I knew you, and you hadn't been born yet. So I think I'm ahead of you.
Okay, so you win.
Yes.
So are there things that you did when you were a child that helped you be a good mother when you grew up?
Well, I played with dolls. And then when I got to be about 10, I started playing with paper dolls and drawing paper dolls, coloring paper dolls, making clothes for paper dolls. So I played with paper dolls a lot. And I babysat. I babysat for all the neighbors around us. So that kind of helped me get to know children. Yeah, that's probably more important than playing with paper dolls, actually.
Probably so.
Yes.
So when I was a child, Dr. Benjamin Spock's book, The Common Sense Book of Baby and Child Care, was popular. Did you have a book that you read that influenced your parenting style?
Yes, I think it was called Don't Throw the Baby Out with the Bathwater. And it was a comedic sort of book. It made you understand that things were not as important as people thought they were. It didn't matter what their bedtime was. It didn't matter which kind of food you fed them. Well, I mean, to a point, you still want to feed nutritious food, yes. But if you give your child for breakfast, it won't hurt them. It doesn't have to be eggs. It can be lots of other things that are healthy. So that's what I learned from that book, was how to loosen up and not be so worried.
So you had 2 sons of your own.
I did.
And you also had 3 foster daughters.
Yes.
Why did you decide to help raise children who came from other families?
I just love kids. I've always loved kids. So it just seemed like when children were in trouble, somebody needed to step up and help them. And it needed to be someone who had love to share with the children. So gradually it started with 1 foster daughter, and then 2, and then 3. So it just grew, and then they disappeared and went back to their homes, 1, 2, and 3. So left me with my 2 boys.
So what do you think is the hardest part about being a mom?
That's difficult to answer. I think it's very personal. It depends on your family. Everyone's got a different something that was hard for them. My hardest thing was watching my children when they were sick. That's probably the hardest, because as a mother, you always wish you could be sick instead of them. You don't want them to hurt. You don't want them to feel bad. So you hurt. So that's probably the hardest part.
And what do you like best about being a mother?
Times like this, where you can stare at your son in a Zoom meeting and say, hey, you're 50 and you're still my little boy.
Fair enough.
Okay.
So you not only have children, but grandchildren and great-grandchildren.
Great-grandchildren, yes.
What's that like, watching the generations keep moving along?
It's very nice. COVID has really messed it up, because I went for almost 16 months without seeing any children, grandchildren, or great-grandchildren. And about 3 weeks ago, we went to Richmond and saw 4 out of 5 of my grandchildren and all 4 of my greats. And it was wonderful. Loved it. I'm going to move back.
Everyone will be happy to have you closer.
Mm-hmm.
So is there anything that you would like to just tell the children, or maybe the moms at my church, about being a mom? Something they just need to know about momming, if that's a verb?
Maybe don't hit yourself up so much. We're too hard on ourselves as moms. We always think we're making mistakes. Every little thing we worry about, did we do it right? Did we do it wrong? We're too hard on ourselves. The kids are going to grow up regardless, as long as you don't do anything that keeps them out of college. So, one of my famous phrases.
I was hoping you would say that at some point during our conversation. So I've got one last question.
Mm-hmm.
Every parent says that they love their children equally, though sometimes in different ways. Isn't it true, though, that I'm really your favorite?
Such a straight face. How much time do we have that I can tell the story about putting you two to bed every night when you were little? And when you were little, you shared a bedroom. So I'd go to one bed and I'd say, I love you best, and give you a hug and kiss. And then I'd walk 4 feet across the room to the other bed and say, I love you best, with a hug and a kiss. Well, you knew better. Your brother felt so bad because I loved him more than I loved you. And he was an adult before he knew that I said it to both of you. An adult. I hope he's watching this.
Perhaps he will. He does tend to watch our services. So he's one of our regular viewers.
Uh-huh.
So, Mom, thank you for being with us today on Mother's Day. Thank you for celebrating with us. Thank you for raising your kids, if I may say so, really well. It is just great to have you with us. Again, thank you, and I love you very much.
Thank you very much for having me. Happy Mother's Day.